Eric Bakker of The Naturopath. Thanks for coming back. Let's talk about different foods that really help to promote the gut health. The question is, what are the best probiotic foods? So I've made this little video. I'm calling it 8 probiotic foods that help boost digestion and keep the gut healthy for weight maintenance. Okay, let's go for a list here. If you've got my book Candida Crusher, you can read a lot more about fermented and cultured foods in that book. There are many different pages there you can read on kimchi and tempeh and sauerkraut and things like that. So I go into much more detail in the book. Yeastinfection.org should have some good articles on it as well regarding this topic. Let's just start with miso. Okay, miso is one of my favorites. It's a fermented soybean paste from Japan. Korea, Japan, many Asian countries have their own miso. You can get different types of miso ranging from young up to very old or aged miso. So you dissolve this in hot water. So this is quite a good, rich, lactic acid containing food. Now many people, again, freak out with soy. They say, oh no, we can't have soy products. You'll go weird. You'll grow breasts if you're a male. You'll turn into a retarded ape if you eat that stuff. You know, I've heard all of this sort of stupid nonsense. So up to you. I don't find a problem at all with non-genetically modified soy products. I think it's a fantastic food, and I think miso is a really nice thing to have, particularly in wintertime, but you can drink it any year round. It's a very satisfying drink. It's particularly good, I find, with people with irritable bowel syndrome. So if you've got IBS, you try little bits of miso here or there, and you'll find it quite a wonderful addition to your diet. Cheeses. Let me tick that one off. We've talked about the cheeses before. Some of the best cheeses really are some of the aged cheeses. Cheddar, but Parmesan is a very good one too. A small amount of Parmesan grated a little bit here and there on a salad is a very nice addition. And again, there are various species of lactobacillus that are quite predominant in an aged cheese like Parmesan. Lactobacillus is a very important bacteria to have for the small intestine in particular, to keep that membrane very good and to prevent leaky gut. So be careful with cheese, small amounts in your diet, not lots. Okay, I like Parmesan, but a tiny bit grated. I find it very tasty addition to different dishes. Another good cheese you could have would be goat's feta. I find very satisfactory also when it comes to the lactic acid bacteria. Kefir, number 3. Kefir is particularly strong. Now you need to be careful with kefir. If you've got IBS or irritable bowel syndrome, inflammatory bowel disease, if you've got a big problem with your gut, I would not recommend kefir until the gut has come into its own and is in a bit better shape. You'll find yogurt, generally, or miso to be more acceptable before kefir. Kefir can also really stimulate candida quite bad in some people. You can also get candida from kefir, would you believe it? There are different yeasts that grow in it. So I've actually seen Candida kefir as a species pop up in people who've had far too much kefir in their diet. So just be careful. Kefir is also associated, in my opinion, with headaches and nausea and a lot of bloating and gas. If it's taken in too large amount or too prematurely, you might be better off waiting a little bit with kefir. It's a great food, but the timing's got to be right. Buttermilk. Buttermilk is quite a sour kind of milk, like quark is another name for buttermilk. So in Holland we've got we call it caramel. So it's quite a sour, bitter sort of a milk, and again a nice lactic kind of an ability there. So small amounts of buttermilk, very good food for children, but also older people to build up. I believe you get good levels of bifidobacteria in the caramel. I find it particularly good for people with bowel problems. So if you've got constipation, for example, buttermilk might be a really good addition to have to your diet. 5th one, naturally pickled pickles, or pickled, I was going to say pickled peppers because that's a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? Naturally pickled gherkins, little gherkins, those kind of little things. So when they're pickled really in salt and water, naturally pickled, you're going to get good bacterial content growing in there as opposed to vinegar or lye. If you get those big bottles from the supermarket, they're often commercially made and they're not really that healthy for you. But traditionally, pickling often will have mustard seeds and there could be different spices or herbs thrown in with that. And you're going to get a much higher beneficial bacteria count. Farmers markets sometimes will sell jars of naturally pickled gherkins, for example. Much nicer flavor and better for the gut. Keep away from the commercial stuff. Go more for the homemade stuff. Number 6, tempeh. Inoculated soy product again. What is it called? Bacillus subtilis. Bacillus subtilis is the particular bacteria found in tempeh. I quite like tempeh. It's got a nice meaty, beefy kind of flavor. So you definitely want to give it a try. Tempeh, tempeh. You'll find it in your health food shop. It's quite satisfying food, I find, too, when you eat a piece of this with some, salad, for example. You'll feel quite full for some time. And many people actually think it's a piece of hamburger. It looks a lot like hamburger, but it's not. It's soy. All right? And of course, yogurt, my good old friend yogurt, which I've been making now for an awfully long time. You can easily make yogurt at home. There are many recipes you can follow. I like the addition of a good quality probiotic on the tail end when you're making the yogurt, just to boost up the bacterial content. Don't put the bacteria in when it's too hot, but you can certainly get more of a boost with yogurt by doing that. Yogurt's, in my opinion, one of the best of all the cultured foods. It's fantastic for people with a very weak digestive system. So elderly people again, or people convalescing, it works quite well. Be careful with the retail yogurts, because many contain artificial sugars or fruits or fake kind of fruits in there. So probably best to go to a health food shop again, or make your own. And the last one is sauerkraut. Sauerkraut, something I've been eating now for a long, long time. I make my own sauerkraut. Again, Candida Crusher book explains how to make sauerkraut. This is a very, very good food. And again, just be careful if you're starting out. It's not maybe the best food for you to take in the cultured fermented foods when you begin. And if you do start, take small amounts of sauerkraut once per day until your gut is in a lot better shape. When it's in shape like mine, you can easily eat sauerkraut once or twice, small amounts per day, ongoing, for as long as you want. It's a superb food. It's very high in many different minerals and vitamins. I like it particularly now this time of year, winter, and it's very satisfying food too. So that's my take on some of the best foods really for repopulating the gut and getting it into good shape. Just to repeat again, kefir, be careful with kefir. Okay? Thanks for tuning in.